analytical, in-depth, educative, and interactive on national issues accommodating all sides of opinions.
We as a people have understood that we have to fight corruption before it fights us back.
Poverty has a financial index, so it should be fought also with a financial weapon. Give it to the social investments program. It has been a very courageous battle.
Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
This vaccine is safe and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFTA.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Our focus is Nigeria.
State of the Nation, President Buhari engages Senate President. House of Reps urges concerned agencies to go tough on smuggling of petroleum products as NNPC takes over OML 11. Also tonight, African Development Bank partners Nigeria to implement agro-processing zones in states.
We may produce enough food to eat, but people will still sleep with hunger because they have no money to buy.
Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Kenan Ima Abulike. Hey, John Adams joins me from Lagos. The federal government has resolved not to leave anything to chance in its genuine efforts at fully restoring normalcy in Nigeria's security situation, as well as ensuring that all ongoing legacy projects across the country are completed and put to use for posterity. Senate President Ahmad Lawan stated this while addressing journalists after a strategic engagement with President Muhammadu Buhari on the state of the nation. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan was in the State House to rejoice with and congratulate President Muhammadu Buhari on the achievements recorded so far in the renewed battle against terrorism and insurgency, leading to the reported mass surrender of the criminal elements in the Northeast. During the high-level engagement held behind closed doors, discussions also centered on the challenges of banditry and kidnapping in the Northwest and North Central, which they say must equally be dealt with decisively.
I'm happy to inform Nigerians that Mr. President has shown willingness and the desire to continue to give more resources to armed forces and other security agencies to continue to fight the banditry, the little bits of the insurgency left, and of course the other security challenges. And we are also fully in support of giving him all the resources that he will require from us in the National Assembly to ensure that the lives and property of Nigerians are properly secured. And before this administration leaves, by the grace of God, in 2023, the security situation would have been stabilized. But I don't subscribe to the idea of saying forget about people who are surrendering, all of them are criminals and the rest of it. What we need to do is to have a clearly defined national policy on how we deal with this, to ensure that everybody is sanitized, so to speak, before they are introduced into the society.
President Muhammadu Buhari and the Senate President also discussed the 2022 appropriations bill now in the works.
The budget 2022 will be the icing on the cake, so to speak. That is to say that we have to make sufficient provisions for our legacy projects. Our desire now is in tandem with what the presidency wants. That is to ensure that the legacy projects like the second Niger Bridge, the Abuja, Kaduna, Kano highway, and so on and so forth are completed by next year, by the grace of God, and Mr. President is able to commission them for Nigerians to benefit.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan used the opportunity to respond to what he called the baseless, unfounded, and mischievous allegations in some quarters that the presiding officers of the National Assembly were financially induced to pass the 3% allocated for host communities in the Petroleum Industry Act.
I really want to take this opportunity to take exceptions to those kind of unwarranted, false and fake information being fed to the Nigerian public. And the danger people will face with this is you cause unnecessary damage to the reputation of people. In the National Assembly, our focus is Nigeria. Our priority is Nigeria. We have no personal interest in anything. What will make Nigeria better is what concerns us. At the end of the day, we will have a date with history, and we want to be on the right side of history.
Ways and means of improving the nation's revenues towards reducing borrowing by government, as well as bolstering the strength and enhancing the capacity of the governing APC to continue to retain power in the country were also analyzed. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now, troops of Operation Safe Haven have rescued 15 kidnapped commuters in Jama local government area of Kaduna State. A report by the State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, shows that the rescued persons had been kidnapped from 2 vehicles in the area while on transit. It says the troops responded to a distress call and mobilized swiftly to repel the bandits, resulting in the successful rescue of the abductees. The State Deputy Governor Hadiza Balarabe commended the troops for their swift response, urging them to sustain the zeal for the success of the fight against crime. The troops are sustaining search and rescue operations in the area. Meanwhile, troops of Multinational Joint Task Force MNJTF Sector 3, Mongonol, Borno State, on routine patrols along Gajiram have eliminated 4 Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists at Gambari axis. Ismail Musa reports.
A statement by the Chief of Military Public Information, Multinational Joint Task Force MNJTF headquarters in N'Djamena, Chad, Colonel Mohamed Dole indicates that the terrorists were neutralized when they attempted to ambush the troops of the MNJTF. Colonel Dole notes that several arms and drugs were recovered from the criminals. In a related development, the commander, Multinational Joint Task Force, Major General Abdul Khalif Ibrahim, has stressed determination to ensure that remnants of terrorists are rooted out of the Lake Chad Basin. The commander was speaking while on operational visit to formations under his command. He was at the Forces Sector 3 headquarters in Mungunu, Borno State, Sector 1 in Marwa, Cameroon, and Sector 2 in Chad, where he was accompanied by principal staff officers from all the participating countries. Major General Ibrahim expressed renewed commitment to take the fight to the enclaves of terrorists to hasten the end of the conflict. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And in continuation of efforts to deplete insecurity, the Kebbi State government has fabricated armored personnel carriers to support military operations. The locally fabricated vehicles were carefully reinforced with bulletproof capable of withstanding attacks during operations. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
The state has its own share of the banditry misfortune, bedeviling northwestern part of Nigeria, causing losses to many lives and property, and as well massive displacement to many families. The ugly development necessitated the unveiling of various strategies to tackle the challenge by those states in the front line, Kebbi State inclusive. Fabrication of a number of Toyota brand Land Cruiser Buffalo vehicles into armored personnel carriers for military operations is one of such efforts. Leading this initiative is the State Deputy Governor Colonel Samaila Yambedabo, a retired military officer.
Changing them from a civilian look to military look. As you may have seen, these vehicles were brought in this condition, and we carry out some fabrication to make them look military. Basically what we have done there is to provide a relatively adequate safety.
Colonel Yombe described Kebbi State as pace setter in the Creative Technology Initiative, aimed at advancing Nigeria's quest for technical innovations in the fight against banditry and other criminal activities. Commended Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu for supporting the project, adding that transportation remains a major requirement in the warfare. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And still on security, the Nigeria Police Force is partnering Central Bank of Nigeria to build a national cybercrime center that will adequately respond to cybercrime threats in the country. To this end, the force is equipping the cybersecurity workforce with requisite skills to protect the cyberspace from criminal elements. Francis Form reports.
The recent NSAS protest in the country has led to cyber threats and attacks on critical national infrastructure. This necessitated the capacity building and skills acquisition.
We will leave this place a better and well-equipped, trained personnel to be able to handle the emerging crime and the challenges we are facing in terms of handling cybercrime.
Cybercrime investigation is technical. You need the technical capacity to be able to know what to do.
When we move to the new center, by the grace of God, we should be able to have the right professionals, the right experts to work with.
Inspector General of Police, represented by the DIG Criminal Investigations Department, says the establishment of National Cybersecurity Center will be a game changer in the fight against cyber-related crimes.
The Nigerian Police National Cybercrime Center will be a cyber security hub and first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa.
The facility is designed to collect, analyze, and counter a variety of threats in the evolving threat space against the critical national infrastructure.
Participants at this 10-day cybersecurity training workshop are hoping for a better deal to confront these criminals. Frank Sesform, NTA News.
And talking aviation now, in a bid to address recent challenges in airport operations and facilitate management systems at the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, and Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, new check-in and screening equipment are being installed to enhance smooth operations. An additional 15 security screening machines are also being deployed to the General Aviation Terminal at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, seeks the understanding of passengers and other stakeholders to bear with the situation while speedy completion of the projects take place. The National Industrial Court of Nigeria has ordered the striking members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, to resume work immediately. This followed an ex parte motion filed last week Friday by the Federal Ministry of Health seeking for interlocutory injunction restraining members of NAD from further continuing the industrial action that began August 2, 2021, contrary to Section 41 of the Trade Dispute Act, pending the determination of the substantive suit. The court held that the continued downing of tools by the striking doctors have inflicted a lot of damage on the health system and the sick, especially in these perilous times of COVID-19 pandemic. The judge adjourned the matter to September 15, 2021 for the hearing of the motion and notice and any other pending application. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngigeri, assured the affected doctors that the ruling will not prevent the Federal Ministry of Health, Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget Office of the Federation, Office of the Head of Service of the Federation, and the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission from the implementation of the agreements contained in the Memorandum of Understanding reached at the last meeting with the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) and affiliate associations, with timelines affixed to them. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has felicitated with Sultan of Sokoto Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III on his 65th birthday. The president, in a statement, congratulated the spiritual leader for wisdom and guidance and for the Nigerian Muslim community for about 15 years. The president noted the fatherly role of the Sultan in speaking up and providing for the poor and underprivileged, and interfacing with other religious leaders as co-chair of the Nigerian Interreligious Council, NAREC, to promote harmony, oneness and peaceful coexistence. The president prays for his well-being and longer life and more wisdom to keep serving the country and humanity. Time for our first break. We will be back shortly.
With gratitude to Allah Almighty, I'd like, on behalf of my family, to thank sincerely Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, former President, Dr. Ahmed Lawan, President of the Senate, His Excellency Mahamadou Issoufou, former President, Republic of Niger, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President, governors both serving and former, members of the National Assembly serving and former, defense, security and intelligence chiefs both serving and retired, royal fathers and traditional rulers, religious leaders, captains of industry, leaders of the media, members of the academia, members of the diplomatic community, leaders of political parties, public and civil servants, technocrats serving and retired, leadership and members of various trade unions, family members, friends, associates, and many other categories of well-wishers too numerous to mention, who attended the marriage ceremony in Bichi and reception in Abuja. Furthermore, I thank members of the public who lined the streets in staggering numbers in Kano and Bichi most of the day on Friday. I sincerely thank you all. I am also sincerely grateful to those who are unable to come but offered prayers for Yusuf and Zara and for the success of the occasions. God has answered your prayers. I trust all have returned safely to their respective homes. I shall forever remember with gratitude the kind of solidarity shown to me by the people of Nigeria during this occasion. We are indeed overwhelmed by your support and solidarity. We value and appreciate you all. Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Announcer.
We don't almost reach, Abby. Okay. Guys, the mechanic is almost here.
Madam!
So what do you think is wrong?
Madam, no be smart way they worry this your bike. Carburetor and radiator, you don't pafuka. If you want fix that, 50,000.
I guess I have no choice. Give me size 10 Allen Q.
Madam, the top don't spoil now. You need to buy new one. New one at 16,000.
Thanks for the help, guys. I'll be on my way now. Parenting your tools.
Ride the digital wave for the whole year with 1 terabyte of data for just 100,000 naira. Dial *777#.
The Board of Trustees and Management of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund hereby notify the general public that the fund's 2021 stakeholders briefing has been scheduled to hold as follows. Date 24th August 2021. Venue
NAF Conference Center, Kado, Abuja, FCT.
Time 10 a.m. The purpose of the briefing is to present the fund stakeholders the approved 2021 intervention budget and update heads of its beneficiary institutions on the prevailing and recently reviewed policies of the fund across all intervention lines. Kindly note that attendance of this briefing is strictly on invitation, and all COVID-19 protocols will be observed as appropriate. TED Fund, standing on the threshold of transparency and accountability.
Announcer Abdul Mumin Oniangi, Acting Director, Public Affairs for Executive Secretary, TED Fund.
The University of Abuja Department of History and Diplomatic Studies presents the 4th Democracy Lecture Series. Topic: The Role of NDDC in National Development. Venue: Faculty of Management Science Auditorium, Main Campus, University of Abuja. Date: Tuesday, 24th August 2021. Time: 10 a.m. Guest lecturer: Mr. Efyong Akwa, Interim Administrator, NDDC. Chief host: Professor Abdul Rashid Na'Allah, Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja. Convener: Dr. Philip Afaha, Head, History and Diplomatic Studies, University of Abuja. Organizing Committee. Announcer.
The Development Bank of Nigeria, DBN PLC, specially invites MSMEs, regulators, development partners, participating financial institutions, and other stakeholders to its 2nd annual lecture series themed Resilient Innovation, MSMEs Adaptability in Uncertain Times. This virtual event will hold on Tuesday, August 31st, 2021 by 9 a.m. Keynote speaker, Professor Benedict Okeorama, President and Chairman Board of Directors, African Import-Export Bank. Panelist, Dr. Ola Brown, Founder, Flying Doctors Healthcare Investment Group. Habiba Ali, MD CEO, Sosei Renewable Energies. Inyi Aboyeji, Founder, Future Africa. Aisha Ibrahim, Coordinator, Kaduna Startup and Entrepreneurship Program. Dr. Amy Jadisimi, Advisory Board Member, UNDP Africa Human Development Report. Host, Chairman Board of Directors, Dr. Shehu Yahaya and MD CEO, Mr. Tony Okpanachi. To attend, register at devbankng.com. The DBN Lecture Series is powered by Development Bank of Nigeria PLC.
Development Bank of Nigeria, financing sustainable growth.
The Association of African Private Universities, AAPU, heartily congratulates Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid on his well-deserved reappointment as the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, NUC, by the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, for another term of 5 years. This did not come to us as a surprise, as you have revitalized the Nigerian university system and positively changed the private university landscape in Nigeria. We wish you more success in your 2nd tenure. AAPU is proud to be associated with you and the Commission. Professor Adamu Abubakar Gwazo, President, AAPU. Announcer.
The Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Omar Farouk, wishes to inform the general public of the official launch of Government Enterprise Empowerment Program, GEEP 2.0. Date, Tuesday, August 24th, 2021. Venue, International Conference Center, Abuja. Time is 10 a.m. prompt. GEEP, Hope to Prosperity. All COVID-19 protocols will be fully observed. Announcer, Bashar Noura Alkali, Permanent Secretary.
Welcome back. The passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill, as well as Nigeria's gas initiatives, will help transform Nigeria into a gas-based industrialized nation and also create a better managed petroleum industry with more value addition for both investors and Nigerians alike. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this at a virtual event on the gas initiatives being implemented by the Buhari administration. State House correspondent Jide Odifade reports.
Federal government, as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says, locally launched into the brave new world for the oil and gas industry with the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, adding that the main goal of the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill and the gas initiatives is to transform Nigeria not only into a gas-based industrialized nation through enhanced accelerated gas revolution, but also to help create a better managed petroleum industry where both the people of Nigeria and investors alike can extract value.
While the federal government is building coalitions with other affected countries to urge a just transition as we advance to zero transmission, I will urge indigenous energy companies such as yourselves to join in the very urgent advocacy that is required to prevent the disaster that would result from defunding oil and gas projects.
And not only that,
the African Continental Free Trade Agreement will offer new vistas for business. But your participation and your contributions to some of the negotiations that are going on even now will be helpful to see that we're able to get the very best value from this next round of negotiations.
The next 25 years, Vice President Osinbajo said, will be defining for the energy industry. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The House of Representatives says eliminating the smuggle of petroleum products across Nigerian borders should be tackled decisively. The House Committee on Finance at the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework hearing told concerned agencies to rise to their responsibilities and spare the country huge revenue loss due to such practice. National Assembly correspondent Lamia Lee reports.
Our concern then is that if our consumption will suddenly rise from 30, 35 to 40 to 100 millions per liters per day, it becomes a major issue on a loss of revenue to Nigeria.
The smuggle of petroleum products across the border is alarming. The hearing on Medium-Term Expenditure Framework 2022 to 2024 presented the committee with an opportunity to ask agencies such as the Department of Petroleum Resources, Nigeria Customs Service, Petroleum Products Pricing and Regulatory Agency, among others, why such practice persists.
We see DPR coming to life during scarcity. We go to sleep when it comes to monitoring, and this is part of the challenge leading to this huge outflow of petrol outside the country.
When the joint border drill initiated by the Office of the National Security Advisor kicks in, we were advised to stop supplies to filling stations 20 kilometers to the border, which we did.
For instance, if a marketer loads product from Lagos, Ejibo Depot, and brings it to Suleja Depot, that is where the responsibility of PEF ends. To now track from the depot to the outlet is what we're working on now.
The committee says the National Assembly will come up with a uniform strategy to prevent smuggling of petroleum products as it costs the government billions of naira. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The federal government, through NNPC and its subsidiary, Niger Delta Petroleum Resources, NDPR, has officially taken over operations of oil mining license OML-11 in Ogoniland, following the Court of Appeal judgment. At a ceremonial takeover of the OML-11 in Bori, Kana, local government area of Rivers State, Ogoni leaders pledged to cooperate with the new operator to resume oil operations in Ogoniland. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
The Court of Appeal in Abuja had overturned the Federal High Court judgment, which held that Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, was entitled to renew its lease on OML-11, which is situated in Ogoniland. By this judgment, the coast is now clear for NPDC, a subsidiary of NNPC, to take over the oil fields in Ogoniland. This event at Bori, traditional headquarters of Ogoni people, provided the platform for engagement between NNPC through NPDC and Ogoni people to strike an accord on the resumption of oil exploration and production in Ogoniland.
Today we are here to tell the world that we are ready to work with the government and not with Shell, and we want that judgment to be sustained so that our people can have a breath of new air.
The issue of environmental remediation, host community inclusion, and economic development of Ogoniland were put before the new operator.
It is a very rich in terms of the oil reserve, and then there would be a production in this area. And now that we are partnering with the community, we are going to make progress in this area and clean up this area and ensure that the community benefit from what is endowed for them.
The management of NNPC, NPDC, and Ogoni leaders took tour of some of the oil well sites to herald the takeover and resumption of oil operations in Ogoniland after over 2 decades and a half. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
All Progressives Congress APC stakeholders in Gombe Central Senatorial District have voted to support Governor Inuwa Yahaya's leadership of the party and the state. Emmanuel Akila reports that the resolution of the APC stakeholders precedes a vote of confidence passed on Governor Inuwa Yahaya by the traditional leaders for the zone for good governance.
Member representing Yamal Tudeba Federal Constituency in the National Assembly led the meeting to vote after the deliberations. Their position is made clear in a 6-point communique
The stakeholders unanimously resolved to and hereby pass a vote of confidence on His Excellency Governor Muhammad Inouye Hayab.
So we don't have any problem in Gombe Central, and it's going to be applicable to all the states. The whole state in the APC, we have all agreed and resolved that we are going to follow Inouye as our leader.
Traditional leaders from the zone also met in Kumu, where they discussed on the recent improvement of the welfare of the traditional institution in Gombe State and good governance. Spokesman of the traditional rulers in Gombe Central Senatorial District and Emir of Akko, Muhammad Atiku, says they passed a vote of confidence on the Inouye Hayab administration for ensuring peaceful coexistence and for the provision of dividends of democracy, especially in the rural areas.
We must commend the state governor on the way and manner he handles the issue of security dispassionately, thus making our roles easier, as peace is a necessary prerequisite for development.
Gombe Central Senatorial District comprises Akko and Yamotudebo local government areas in Gombe. Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
The High Court of Rivers State, no, that is not supposed to be the story. Let's go to the one here. Okay, the High Court of Rivers State has issued an interim injunction restraining Prince Uche Secondus from parading himself as the national chairman and member of PDP. Honorable Justice O. Basam of the Degema Judicial Division Vacation Court sitting in Port Harcourt granted the order on Monday following the suits number PHC 2183 CS 2021 filed by Iba Wuchi Ernest Alex, Dennis Nna Amadi Emmanuel Stephen and Umez Rike Onocha against Uche Secondus, first defendant, and the PDP second defendant. The judge, after reading the affidavits in support of the motion of expicy as well as the written address, and after hearing the submission of H.A. Bello, counsel to applicants, granted the interim injunction restraining Secondus from parading himself as the national chairman of the PDP. Federal government and relevant key players in the food production value chain are collaborating towards improving food supply chain in the country. This is coming as the government and the African Development Bank kickstart the implementation of agro-processing zones in state. Musa Baba Aliyu has more.
The outbreak of coronavirus has continued to have negative impacts on global food supply chain. Countries that relied on foreign nations for their staple foods are having tough time to import enough to feed their citizens. Nigeria is having a different situation, with figures indicating increase on agricultural activities, but what is disturbing is the high rate of inflation.
We may produce enough food to eat, but people will still sleep with hunger because they have no money to buy.
The convergence of who is who in agricultural value chain from within and outside the country in this hall is to discuss the ways of ensuring staple price of food items post-COVID-19. The second is the industrialization for processing and export.
To breed crops varieties and production practices that ensure competitive and profitable production of crops to satisfy our needs and surplus for export.
We work closely with the federal government to encourage the conditions for reducing violence.
While British investors are indicating interest of investing in the Nigeria's agricultural value chain, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, is set to key into the processing zones initiative. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Youth restiveness, poverty and unemployment can be completely eradicated in any given society if the skills and capacities of the people are properly coordinated and improved upon for the development of the society. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, stated this at the send-forth ceremony of Batch C Stream 1 End Power Program in Abuja. Eliasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Available records from the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry indicate that about 1.2 million beneficiaries have been shortlisted out of the 5 million people who applied for the scheme across the country. The breakdown shows that Empower Agro has 418,605 beneficiaries. Empower Volunteer Teachers has 245,970 beneficiaries, while Empower Health got 207,539 beneficiaries. Others are Empower Building with 127,478, Empower Technology 102,056, and Empower Creative has 98,307 beneficiaries.
I'm grateful for federal government for enlisting me among this program.
I really appreciate for the federal government for their efforts to help the youth.
The Humanitarian Affairs Minister said no effort will be spared at ensuring continuous capacity building.
I want to assure you that the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is committed to ensuring that the strategic objectives of all the social investment programs are achieved.
The onboarding of beneficiaries in this batch will go a long way to mitigate the impact of unemployment among youths and lessen the current level of insecurity and gender-based violence.
The organized private sector has a lot to offer.
Restiveness, youth unemployment, and so on and so forth is a problem. And that led to the philosophy of establishing the National Social Investment Program.
A popular musician, Oladapo Daniel Oyebanjo, popularly known as The Banj, joined in unveiling the Empower program. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
Let's join Hengido from Lagos Network Center for more reports.
Thank you, Kene. The Central Bank of Nigeria is poised to support the growth and development of Nigeria's macroeconomic sector. Acting Director of Communications, Central Bank of Nigeria, Osita Wanisobi, re-emphasized this during an interactive session with union leaders on the bank's 5-year policy thrust in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
The Central Bank of Nigeria 5 years policy trusts targets, among others, double-digit economic growth, increase in financial inclusion to 95% by 2024, and single-digit inflation. The Apex Bank laid a solid foundation for this policy in 2014 when it launched the Anchor Borrowers Program as an intervention in the agricultural sector to boost local food production and grow dwindling economic performance following sharp decline in crude oil prices and the resultant decline in foreign exchange earnings.
And we believe that it is important that every Nigerian key into this reality that we need to grow our economy. It is not just about central bank, it's not even just about the government, it is about the Nigerian people. And we are believing that Labour, being a significant and important stakeholder group, will be able to take this message across to their people.
While efforts to develop the real economy through sound monetary policies seems to be enjoying the attention of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Labour leaders at this interactive session want the Apex Bank to engage more with the Nigerian workers and other stakeholders in order to forge a better understanding of its efforts in managing the Nigerian economy.
In Lagos, let us begin to think of how we can add to the economy. We can arrange and organize ourselves. And that is what we have been thinking now. We say that for the 5-year policy trust of Central Bank, let us as workers be able to benefit.
There is no doubt that the request aligns with the objective of the CBN as the Apex Bank announced plans to hold more interactive session with union leaders across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
90% of articulated vehicles plying the Nigeria roads, according to statistics by the Federal Road Safety Corps, are not roadworthy. Most of them are over 30 years old. As a way of changing the narrative, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, is synergizing with the port community to get rid of unworthy trucks and articulated vehicles on Nigeria roads. Imole Ayotokede Ogunfowora has details.
This meeting by the Corps Marshal Goboye Oyeyemi with the Nigerian Shippers Council and the Nigerian Port Authority is in furtherance of existing relationship. Issues discussed include ways of enhancing road traffic administration in the country and ensuring road-unworthy vehicles are prevented from loading at the ports to put an end to frequent breakdown of trucks on the highways.
70% of the crashes in the last 3 months occurs at night. 70%. And it's not one person, it's not two. We are talking about 16, 20, 24, 26, one crash. Because a truck, a trailer has broken down and other vehicles ram into it. If we can address this problem from the source, it makes enforcement to be much easier.
The stakeholders expressed delight over their collaboration with the FRSC, revealing that the issue of extortions at checkpoints and fake number plates should be looked into to further strengthen the execution of Memorandum of Understanding between the authorities.
A small committee be set up to go around the Lagos, the Apapa-Tinkan axis to identify checkpoints or where we should have checkpoints. And those checkpoints are not meant to interfere with the flow of traffic.
When you can guarantee that goods are being moved safely from the ports into the hinterlands, the economic activity that will generate, can best be imagined.
The FRSC is optimistic that with joint public enlightenment, advocacy campaigns, continuous sensitization and training for drivers, the menace of road-unworthy vehicles would be kept at bay. In Lagos, Imole Ayotokede, Ogunfowora, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. It's time for another break. The news will be back shortly.
Accountant General of the Federation invites ministries, departments, and agencies, role players to attend IPPIS nationwide training scheduled to hold as follows. First stream, date Wednesday 25th to Friday 27th August 2021. Venue, Tahir Guest Palace, Kano, Kano State. Southeast Zone, date Wednesday 25th to Friday 27th August 2021. Venue, Amido Event Center, Enugu State. Second stream, Northeast Zone, date Monday 30th August to Wednesday 1st September 2021. Venue, 4 International Conference Center, Bauchi State. South Zone, date Monday 30th August to Wednesday 1st September 2021. Venue, Ibom Icon Hotel and Gold Resort, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Third stream, date Monday 6th to Wednesday 8th September 2021. Venue, Excellence Hotel and Conference Center, Ikeja, Lagos. North Central Zone, date Monday 6th to Wednesday 8th September 2021. Venue, Global Village Hotel and Suites Limited, Nasarawa State. The time for all the events is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. The training is to acquaint the role players with the application for effective and efficient service delivery. All COVID-19 protocols will be strictly adhered to. Signed, Idris Ahmed, FCNA, Accountant General of the Federation.
Mr. Kaku like to kaku. Every day must do kaku. Yeah, if you want me go kaku. If you want me go kaku. Every time he like to reason. Even free things he go bad easy. Glow is there for you in every season. You don't have to over easy. Glow, better get that. Glow, oh that better. Glow, better get that. Glow, oh that better. Glow, better get that.
You don't have to be a Mr. Kaku when it comes to data. Get a Glow MiFi for 12,000 Naira and get up to 60 gigabytes data free.
Bye. Don't worry, dear. I'll take care of it. How do you manage to keep your fabric so white? And how do you manage to keep your house this clean?
I always use Hypo to make our white clothes whiter and to keep our home clean and germ-free.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your home free of illness causing viruses and germs with the disinfecting power of Hypo Bleach.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet absorbs quickly and starts providing fast and effective pain relief you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets.
He's falling sick so frequently, either fever or stomachache. I keep him away from junk food.
He also feeds me apples.
She says an apple a day keeps...
If you want to keep germs away, then also wash your hands regularly with Dettol soap.
Meaning?
Germs and disease spread through the hand also. For this, use Dettol soap. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
Oh God, Greg, you want to buy cough medicine again? Why haven't you gone for a test like I advised?
Test? So that the hospital people will say I have COVID-19? No.
How about Greg? Not all coughs mean you have COVID-19. COVID-19 cough and symptoms are different from other illnesses like tuberculosis.
Solomon, why don't you ever stay at your post? Why?
This your cough. You need to check Amo. When I had a bad cough, Madam told me to go for tuberculosis test. After the cough syrups didn't work, they discovered I had tuberculosis. After the free test, I was even treated for free. Now I'm fine.
Solomon is right. Oga Greg, check Amo. Make you dey sure. Because who no go?
No go, no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
If your cough is more than 2 weeks, it could be tuberculosis. TB tests and TB treatment are free. Just call the National TB Hotline on 3340 for information on where to get the test. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Health with support from the American people.
Take this, Mom. You will need it.
My dog is craving something. Wonder what it is. Twisco. That's my favorite.
Twisco chocolate drink powder is a unique blend of cocoa, milk, and malt fortified with Enofort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that helps give kids the vitality they need for an action-packed day.
Mommy, let's bring home a ball.
Twisco, power your dream.
Mommy is ready to receive me a bundle of joy. Mommy is making my home cleaner and safer. We are Dettol sure.
Illnesses can happen at home too. That's why Dettol and me together will make my baby's home safe and to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs. That's why moms want to be Dettol. Dettol sure.
We are Dettol sure.
Last days last by the grace of the fire and the flames. You're the face of the future, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh. But they never did ever live, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke up when it rained down. It rained down.
With star 966 hash easy banking, you can open a Zenith Bank account, purchase airtime and data, make transfers to any bank in Nigeria, pay bills and make POS payments, create a wallet account, and perform other self-service options like PIN and password reset and temporary blockage of your account. Star 966 hash is fast, easy, and convenient. And more importantly, it can be used on any phone type as it requires no data. Dial star 966 hash to get started now. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
The federal government has concluded a plan to build resettlement cities to cater for the increasing number of internally displaced persons in Zamfara State. Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Imanu Suleiman Ibrahim, stated this when she paid a visit to Governor Bello Muhammad at the Government House, Guzo. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
The state has in recent weeks recorded the influx of internally displaced persons following the resurgent banditry and kidnapping in some local government areas of the state. The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, was in Zamfara State at the instance of the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, to commiserate with the government and people of the state over the situation and to flag up the distribution of relief items to the IDPs. Iman Ibrahim, alongside Governor Bello Muhammad, performed the symbolic presentation of the items comprising assorted foodstuffs, utensils, detergents and mattresses to the IDPs at Government House Gusau, which marks the commencement of the distribution exercise across the state. The Federal Commissioner, who interacted with the Governor on the federal government's plans to rise up to the challenge of the increasing number of the internally displaced persons across the country, says arrangements have been concluded to build resettlement cities for the IDPs in Zamfara, Borno, Edo and Katsina states as a pilot project.
From our IDP department, we're looking at
strengthening our database. We're looking at other essential support, assistance and protection for our persons of concerns, like in the areas of health and education. And on the budget, we have a lot of those coming to the state.
Governor Bello Muhammad applauded the federal government for the sustained support to the IDPs.
As a government, we are going to give you all the support needed and we'll make sure that you succeed, inshallah.
Despite the increasing number of the internally displaced persons occasioned by the protracted security challenges bedeviling Zamfara State, it is observed that a permanent camp is yet to be established for the IDPs in any part of the state. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, engages Congo to grow oil and gas sector as investors lose 25.2 billion naira to open the week negative in the capital market. Details with Musa Abubakar on Business News.
Thank you, Kenneth. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, is engaging the Congolese government towards driving growth and development of the country's oil and gas sector. This was the fallout of a visit by Secretary General of OPEC, Sanusi Barkindo, during a visit to Congo, Brazzaville. The historic visit to the regional oil-producing country and recent member state, Barkindo said, is to converse with the stakeholders and discuss Congo's impactful role in further positioning itself as a global oil and gas exporter. The Nigerian government is in the process of implementing the long-term national development plan across all sectors of the economy. To this end, Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, in collaboration with development partners, have organized capacity building for special advisors and technical assistants of ministers in the country to prepare a national long-term development plan. Nneka Oko reports that the training was declared open by the Minister of State Budget and National Planning.
The key MPAs have established a performance matrix to track and measure the presidential deliverables 2019 to 2023. Additionally, eye monitoring is to be introduced in government websites to enable Nigerians post pictures of project status vis-a-vis the cash that is released.
The economic plan has been put together. We are now at the stage of implementation. So due to the fact that they need to put some few things together for the implementation, we are bringing them together again to build their capacity on how to go on with the implementation of the long-term development plan.
While the stock market closed Monday's trading session on a negative note, the oil share index declined 0.12% at 39,434.69 basis points, and market capitalization at 20.5 trillion naira, 211.3 million shares value at 2.03 billion naira, exchange hands and 3,939 deals. Chems PLC, Guarantee Trust Holding Company PLC, and Honey Flow are the most traded stocks. That's Business News. The news continues after the break.
Implementing the Petroleum Industry Act is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live. Expert brainstorm on the Act. Join us on 24th of August 2021. Tuesday Live, every week at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
From across the way, and I think about you almost every day. Now I think that I must have a crush on you. I hope that you feel it too. Diamonds, wedding friends, so take my hand. You and me, la la land.
It's the natural ingredients and rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.
Mommy is ready to receive me a bundle of joy. Mommy is making my home cleaner and safer. We are Dettol, Dettol Sure.
Illnesses can happen at home too. That's why Dettol and me together will make my baby's home safe and to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs. That's why moms want to be Dettol, Dettol Sure.
We are Dettol, Dettol Sure.
washing powders are the same. Sunlight adds bursts of freshness to cleaning power to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and freshness that lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1, sensational cleaning with burst after burst of freshness. Introducing Sunlight with luxurious oud fragrance.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent Triple.
He's falling sick so frequently, either fever or stomachache. I keep him away from junk food.
She also feeds me apples. She says an apple a day keeps...
If you want to keep germs away, then also wash your hands regularly with Dettol soap.
Meaning?
Germs and disease spread through the hand also. For this, use Dettol soap. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Nigerian athletes on their outstanding achievements at the just concluded World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Nairobi, Kenya. The president gave the commendation to the team and their handlers for showcasing to the world that Nigeria is blessed with some of the best talents in the world of sport, who by dint of hard work and perseverance can dazzle anytime and anywhere. With 4 gold and 3 bronze medals to finish third on the final medals table, the president believes that the sports ambassadors in Nairobi and the entire contingent have every reason to celebrate their well-deserved laurels. President Buhari thanks the victorious athletes for flying the country's flag high at the competition, breaking new records from personal best and national records all the way to championship record. And for more in sports, let's join Femi Johnson.
12 million cases reported in Japan since COVID-19 started, 4.43 million deaths, and just on Sunday, 4,392 cases were discovered. 3,968 people are still on bed. 6 areas are under state of emergency. But the minister in charge of COVID-19 in Tokyo, Nishimura Yasutoshi, says they are on top of it. Therefore, the rule is, as long as you are a visitor to participate in the Paralympic Games, you must undergo the test. All athletes and officials, in spite of the test conducted in their home country, which was supervised by Japanese officials from their embassies, will still have to go through the new test. It takes 1 or 2 hours to undergo the test, while an hour will be spent waiting for the results. To the Japanese officials, it is a must-done procedure.
I almost doing this job within 10 days, only 10 days, but it seems very difficult.
I know there are many risks doing this job. However, I'm glad to support athletes.
For the participants, these are their views.
I hope that everything will go fine.
For us as a delegate from Nigeria, it was very, very stressful. We spent like 2 hours for the test, and while we were waiting for the result. At the end of the day, we had cause to thank God that none of us tested positive.
Whichever way it is, one thing is certain about this job. They are doing it with vigor, they are doing it with enthusiasm, and they feel proud to be part of the situation in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, Japan. From Tokyo in Japan, Femi Johnson.
The death has occurred of the wife of former head of state, General Aguiyi Ironsi, Lady Victoria Wanyocha Aguiyi Ironsi, at the age of 97. The death of the matriarch of the Aguiyi Ironsi was confirmed by her 5th child, Angela Ngerem Tokodilia, who were married in a telephone interview. She said a nonengenarian passed on Monday, 23rd August, at the Federal Medical Center, Umuahia, following a protracted illness. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari extends deepest condolences to the Aguiyi-Ironsi family and government and people of Abia State on the passing of Mrs. Victoria Aguiyi-Ironsi, wife of the first military head of state, Major General Johnson Thomas Aguiyi-Ironsi. The president affirms that Lady Victoria's incredible strength and exceptional courage during one of the darkest moments in our nation's history pedestals her as a mother of the nation, God-fearing, and a foremost woman of valor. President Muhammadu Buhari has commiserated with the Dakoru's family over the death of their son, Eddie Dakoru, at the age of 92. The president, in a statement, described late Eddie Dakoru as a respectable gentleman who did not allow himself to be overcome by life challenges, having lost his father at the age of 4. Late Eddie Dakoru, a Second Republic Rivers State Assembly member, was a teacher and a businessman. The president prayed God to grant him rest and the family the fortitude to bear the loss. The death has occurred of wife of the Premier of Eastern Nigeria, Chief Michael Obara, Lady Adama Obara, who passed on at the age of 97. Lady Adama's death is said to have robbed the eastern region of one of its iconic women living legends that contributed greatly to the region. Meanwhile, the Minister of Women Affairs, Paula Talling, has expressed sadness over the death of Lady Adama Obara, wife of the late Eastern Premier. The minister in the statement noted her immense contributions to the growth and the development of the region through her charitable works and educational outreach. She commiserates with the family, government, and people of Abia State on the irreparable loss on behalf of Nigerian women and the children. That concludes the news tonight. But before we go, remember to be a star. Connect with NTA to stand against rape and rapists. My name is Kene Ima Abodike. Good night.
This is the network service of the NTA.
I'm the Chief Resident Engineer and Project Supervisor of the Second Niger Bridge Project. The Second Niger Bridge Project is a project that has been conceived for a very long time, but it has finally come to life during this present administration. This project has a lot of socio-economic benefits, and it has impacted positively on the lives of the host communities, both in Anambra State and Delta State. The people are very happy. The host communities, they partnered with us because apart from the social benefits, indigenes are also employed on this project. We can see how their lives are being improved.
This message